Summers, New York, PepsiCo headquarters, March 28, 1996. A Pepsi employee opens an envelope. Inside is a cashier's check. The amount is $700,008.50. It is made out to PepsiCo. But the check isn't the strange part. Attached to it is an official Pepsi Stuff order form. At the bottom, someone has written the prize they want: one Harrier jet. The employee reads it again. Then again. Because according to Pepsi's own promotion, this 21-year-old customer appears to be asking for a military aircraft, and he has just sent Pepsi the money. His name is John Leonard. He's a college student in Seattle. He doesn't own a private jet. He doesn't have millions of dollars. And he certainly doesn't have a license to fly a 40,000-pound military aircraft. What he does have is a Pepsi catalog, a calculator, and a very strange idea. Because 6 months earlier, John Leonard watches a Pepsi commercial, and he notices something that almost everyone else misses: a number: 7 million Pepsi points. That's the price Pepsi puts on a Harrier jet. Leonard starts doing the math, and the math is about to create a problem Pepsi never expected. Seattle, Washington, fall 1995. John Leonard is 21 years old. He's studying business administration at the University of Washington. He also works part-time as an outdoor education instructor. He's active, he likes climbing, he spends time outdoors, and he has an interest in business. But he isn't looking for a way to become famous. He isn't trying to embarrass Pepsi. At first, he's simply watching television. Then the Pepsi commercial comes on. A teenager walks through a schoolyard wearing Pepsi clothing. Suddenly, a military jet drops from the sky. It lands beside him. Then the screen shows the price: Harrier fighter, 7 million Pepsi points. Leonard looks at the screen. Most people laugh. Then the commercial ends. But Leonard keeps thinking about that number: 7 million points. How much would that actually cost? The next day, Leonard gets a Pepsi Stuff catalog. The promotion looks simple: buy Pepsi products, collect points, send those points to Pepsi, then exchange them for merchandise: t-shirts, sunglasses, sports equipment, clothes, and, according to the commercial, a Harrier jet. Leonard starts reading the catalog carefully. Not like a customer, like a business student. He reaches the rules, and then he sees something interesting. Customers need a small number of actual Pepsi points to qualify, but the remaining points can be purchased directly from Pepsi. The price is 10 cents per point. Leonard grabs his calculator. 7 million points. He subtracts the required original points, then multiplies the rest by 10 cents. The result is around $700,000. That's when the joke suddenly looks different, because a real Harrier aircraft is worth many millions of dollars. Pepsi's commercial appears to offer one for a fraction of that price. Leonard has found what looks like a loophole. Now there is only one problem. He doesn't have $700,000. Leonard needs someone who does. He approaches a businessman named Todd Hoffman. Leonard brings the Pepsi catalog. He brings his calculations, and he explains the plan. Hoffman laughs at first. Then he reads the rules himself. He goes through them carefully, and suddenly, he stops laughing. Because Leonard isn't making a joke. The numbers actually work. If Pepsi follows the written rules, Leonard believes they have to accept the points. And if they accept the points, he wants the jet. Hoffman agrees to provide the money. Now the plan becomes real. March 28, 1996. Leonard prepares the order. He has the required original Pepsi points. He has the official form. And he has something Pepsi certainly isn't expecting: a cashier's check for $700,008.50. The check is made payable to PepsiCo. Leonard puts everything into an envelope. Then he sends it. The envelope travels across the United States. Eventually, it arrives at Pepsi's redemption office. An employee opens it. She sees the check. Then she sees the order form. She looks at the requested prize. One Harrier jet. The envelope quickly moves from the mailroom to management, and then to Pepsi's lawyers. Because this is no longer a funny television commercial. Someone is actually trying to claim the prize. Pepsi sends the money back. The company explains that the Harrier in the commercial is obviously meant to be humorous. They offer Leonard Pepsi products instead. But Leonard isn't interested. He believes Pepsi has made an offer. He believes he has accepted it. And now, he wants the aircraft. So he gets a lawyer. The lawyer sends Pepsi a formal letter. The message is simple. Deliver the Harrier, or pay its value. Pepsi refuses, and now the company has a much bigger problem. Because Leonard isn't going away. August 1996. Pepsi takes the fight to federal court. The company asks a judge to declare that no contract exists. Their argument is straightforward. Nobody could reasonably believe Pepsi was actually selling a military fighter jet for $700,000. The commercial is obviously a joke. Leonard's side sees it differently. They point to the advertisement. They point to the catalog. They point to the written rules. And most importantly, they point to the check. The case becomes a national story. Newspapers cover it. Television stations report on it. Suddenly, a college student from Seattle is fighting one of America's biggest companies, and everyone wants to know the same thing. Was Pepsi actually promising to give away a fighter jet? The case eventually reaches federal judge Kimba Wood in New York. The judge has to answer a strange question. Can a ridiculous television commercial create a real legal promise? Pepsi argues no. The company says the commercial is obvious exaggeration. Leonard argues that the commercial is not the only evidence. The written promotion matters too. The catalog matters. The rules matter. And the court has to decide whether a reasonable person could actually believe the Harrier was being offered as a prize. Then comes the ruling. The judge sides with Pepsi. The commercial is treated as obvious exaggeration, not a serious offer to sell a military aircraft. Leonard doesn't get the Harrier. But something much bigger comes out of the case. The court's decision makes clear that advertisements are not automatically contracts simply because they contain specific language. And Pepsi learns a lesson that costs far less than a fighter jet, but probably saves the company from another lawsuit. After the lawsuit, Pepsi changes the commercial. The 7 million point Harrier disappears. A disclaimer is added to make the joke clear. The company has avoided giving a college student a military aircraft. But the story doesn't disappear. Because for a brief moment in the 1990s, one young man looked at a television advertisement, read the fine print, did the math, and decided to test one of America's biggest corporations. He didn't steal anything. He didn't hack anything. He didn't threaten anyone. He simply followed the rules, exactly as they were written. And then he mailed Pepsi a check for $700,008.50. The strangest part? Pepsi had created the rules. Pepsi had printed the catalog. Pepsi had put the Harrier in the commercial. And Pepsi had to go to federal court to explain why it never intended to give him the plane. In the end, John Leonard doesn't get a Harrier, but he does something almost as memorable. He turns a Pepsi commercial into a courtroom battle and proves that sometimes the most dangerous thing a company can put in an advertisement is the fine print.